one of the biggest changes in him and through this program is his self-confidence. Prior to LearningRx, he would almost freeze for fear of making a mistake or just from, just lack of confidence, looking foolish. And I think this whole process of these small victories and kind of pushing his boundaries and succeeding and then building on that success and going on to the next one really built up his self-confidence, proved to himself that he could do things that he initially didn't think were possible, and then made it so he kind of overcame that fear of being wrong. And when he would run into a challenge, we would often refer to successes that he had during the program, like, well, did you think that you could say the presidents in 10 seconds or whatever the times were?
7:42.
Yeah, and he'd say, well, no, and I go, well, if you can do that, you can do this, and then he would do that, and then we'd use that as a reference when he was going for Memory Masters through the homeschool co-op. We brought up a lot of his successes through the LearningRx program to motivate him to show him that you've already proven to yourself that you can do things that you thought were beyond your capabilities, and that helped him to continue forward. So I think that alone was worth the entire process.
I wanted to be like a carpenter, but I always had the fear of boards falling on me, which is really weird. But now that I'm almost done with LearningRx, I'm more aware and I can defeat that fear because I can see the boards falling before they actually hit me and I can jump out of the way. I still kind of want to be a carpenter, but in the middle of LearningRx, I started to do the tech board in AV at our church. In AV, I can remember a lot more of what all the buttons on the tech board and stuff are when I first started, and it's very fun. I'm also looking at that too when I grow older, like to become like a technician or like an AV programmer or something like that.
Put himself out there and answer fast, throw something out there, even though he might not always be right, and I think that confidence to sometimes be wrong is a huge asset to life, because if you're not willing to occasionally make mistakes, you're not going to get anything accomplished. So that's been huge, and then he's taken the successes he's had at LearningRx and gone on to do really amazing things.
And his trainer Christine was very pivotal in the points that you come in, there's days you're tired, days you have a bad attitude, days whatever, and Christine's great. It doesn't matter what you come in with because she's going to work it anyway. The structure of the program with the different levels and the different goals are set up in such a way that the student feels progress right away, and parents can see the progress also, but more importantly, it was for the student to experience it. To warm up, build the progress, and then dive into the harder thing, and almost always walk away with some level of improvement that he could feel good about. We had not been able to, just at the beginning of Attention Compute, we were trying to read the numbers, and you're like, I can't. She's like, yeah, let's try, let's do it. And you went, the whole list, and you looked at her like, I just did it. And she said, let's do it again. And you, all of it again.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? And it was like, she stopped and came and got me, and I'm like, yes! And it was like, I can do it.
That was so much fun.
I can do it.
It gave me a lot of confidence, so I could do more stuff. and I was able to have enough confidence where I would try to do my best.
He completed this much work on top of everything else, but he always looked forward to going to LearningRx. And
it's very fun.
it was fun, and to the point that his sisters have always been somewhat jealous.
Especially when I come home from stuff from the prize cabinet.
The prize cabinet, so it's a good motivator, yes. But it was just a phenomenal thing to have a year and a half with the time commitment that it was taking, and for it not to be something that I'm pulling him through.
He always said it was hard, but that he enjoyed it, that it was fun, so that was encouraging.
So we knew we needed to have at least 12 hours a week available to commute, to train on site, and do training at home. And that's in addition to a good 5 hours a day of schoolwork at home, and then 2+ hours of chores on the farm in the wintertime. You know, and now it's spring, it's 5 hours of chores and less hours of school. And so there is a significant time commitment. Yes, no bones about it. And it doesn't affect that one person. We homeschool and we farm, and so when mom is needing to drive, that means everybody's school is impacted. That means all the chores are impacted. It means anything that has to happen stops. So I'm either sitting training or I'm sitting driving or whatever. So it was worth it. It is worth it. We're nearly completing it. And the progress you see in your child I don't mean to cry, but Louie's potential, or his skills have always been there. He was afraid. He wouldn't push through the hard things. And as a parent, you always want your child to rise up and do hard things. It has been so exciting. I mean, you definitely, all the time you spend in the car, all the time you spend at the center, all the time you spend training at home, you're like, oh Lord Jesus, this has got to make progress. It does. But like with anything, it does not overnight. It's a journey. And it is a journey that your whole family takes. But to see him now look at the world differently, as a plate of opportunities rather than obstacles he seeks to avoid, is awesome. He mentioned that he has chosen to pursue doing some of the AV work at church. He would not choose to do something he did not already know or that was within his comfort zone prior to LearningRx. He would only choose to do those things that he knew he could do well, largely because he knew innately he did not process things as fast, and there was a fear of not understanding what was going to be explained to him. And then not understanding something, but then not knowing how to articulate the questions or having the confidence to ask the questions to clarify what's being expected. He just wouldn't even go there. And so now to see him step up to serve the Lord at church in a new way, where he doesn't understand the environment, he doesn't know all the ins and outs of AV, but he'll go and do, and he feels like he can remember the different components better because he was having trouble with short-term and long-term memory. He remembers those things much better without the level of effort and stress. And he just knows, and then if he doesn't remember something, he just asks. And he recognizes it's not that there's anything wrong with him or this make him look foolish. It's just that everybody forgets things. Nobody remembers it all the first time. Here's my question, here it is. And so the journey through LearningRx has positively impacted him, and it has been a pivotal experience in this point in his life. He's 12, going to be a teenager, and we started when he was almost 11. I mean, he was just turned 11, and it's a great time to have such a positive, pivotal experience for where he's starting to go in the next chapter of his life.
I want you to go to LearningRx because it helps you be more aware of your surroundings, go beyond your walls, take the extra mile, and it helps you focus. Man, that's what I wanted to do. That's the main thing I wanted this program to do. I wanted to have better focus, and it has already done that.